My sister-in-law refused to give $10 to her mother at her request and restricted communication with the whole family. The author of the post is listed in the description. Buckle up, because I've been holding this long story in for a long time. And when I tell you this is a hot mess, this is a hot, steaming, bubbling mess of a mess. My sister-in-law, SIL, has cut all ties with me and hubby, telling us that she wants nothing to do with us ever again because their mother, MIL, asked her for $10 and we had the audacity to side with MIL when SIL refused. Sounds petty? It is. Sounds simple? Not exactly. Edit. For context, this story doesn't occur in the US. This is all happening in the Caribbean, so for those confused by the use of the term mummy, which I think is such a cute cultural debate so far here, it's totally normal for grown adults to call their parents mummy and daddy out of respect. It's also the reason for certain healthcare, car, and labor oddities. A lot of us in my country still haven't not recovered from the pandemic because the tourism industry is only just reopening in full force. And that's the industry 70% of the working population relied on. Hubby has 3 siblings. Brother #1, BIL1, will watch you drown to save some rope. Brother #2, BIL2, is the sweetest but a bit naive. And SIL? Oh boy. I don't have anything to compare her to, but I think the title should hint at how bad she is. FYI, SIL is the baby of the family and the only girl. She was spoilt rotten before their parents split up, and things only got worse once the separation became permanent. SIL would play parent against parent and throw her brothers under the bus regularly. Hubby and I watched SIL's behavior get more and more toxic as she grew into an adult, but there was no talking to Meal or Feel. Both parents felt guilty about the fact that of the siblings, SIL was the one to grow up in the broken home. So they excused every tantrum, every snarky remark, and every selfish act. Once when she was 12, CL stole a pair of my sexy panties from the dryer. Hubby and I lived in the same duplex as MIL for a while. I actually thought the panties had been sacrificed to the dryer instead of a sock that cycle. That was until a month later. I saw CL throw the panties into our kitchen through the open back door. When I went over to their apartment to ask Sil why she stole the panties, Mill got upset at me and told hubby to make me apologize to Sil for accusing her of something I saw her do with my own eyes. Sil had the family wrapped around her little finger. Fast forward to 2020. All the siblings were in their early to late 20s. BL1, Bill 2, and CL decided to remain living with Mill because she only had them pay $200 each a month for rent, utilities, and groceries. Mill still felt guilty about breaking up the family, so she sacrificed her freedom and needs to take responsibility for more than half the monthly expenses while her kids partied the land down. I mean, they literally partied the land down. One summer, MIL couldn't even afford shoes for work, but SIL went on a week's vacation abroad. But something else happened in 2020, right? Enter the pandemic. MIL was laid off permanently from her job, so she looked to her adult children for financial support until she could find a new job. I emphasize adult because, at some point in our lives, children will have to help their parents. We just had to start a bit earlier, but it wasn't going to be for the rest of MIL's life just yet. The 4 siblings just had to hold down the fort until Mill found a new job. Simple. Well, BL1 wasn't pleased, but he's reasonable once you get him to sit down and listen to sense. BL2 rolled with the punches. Sil, however, after 5 months, Sil moved out to live with her boyfriend without warning. All CL said as she packed her things was, "I'm too young to take care of you, Mummy. I have my own life to live." Never mind her BIL1, BIL2, and hubby were all chipping in equally. Apparently, Sil had been carrying the load all by herself, and she'd just had enough. She was so tired that Sil left her dog for Mael to take care of with no money. We were all speechless. Not only had Sil been living with Mael for almost 2 years paying practically nothing, but Mill called in a favor with a friend to get SIL a job right out of high school. Sil didn't even have to apply. What's worse, Mael, with the help of me and hubby, bought Sil a car with no expectation of ever being repaid. And you better believe CIL never offered to pay us back either. Without Meal's help, CL would have had nothing, but Sil left Mill up shit creek without a paddle, and Mill lost her apartment. While hubby and his family have learned to take CIL's abuse with a stoops and an eye roll, Her boyfriend was no such sucker. SIL's boyfriend dumped her after a year. The saint, I'm surprised he held on that long. And told SIL to scram. And guess who she came bawling back to? Mile. And guess who took her in without a peep? Mill. I was disgusted. Because SIL had abandoned the family. BIL1 had moved in with his girlfriend, and BIL2 had been forced to find an apartment and take Mill in. Yet there SIL was, sleeping on BIL2's couch. But I'm only the DIL. I can't tell a mother how to handle her child. I tell hubby my thoughts, of course, but he's such a softie. He and Mill helped SIL find her own apartment, since BIL2 couldn't accommodate CIL long-term, and when she gets evicted after a year for being a brat to her landlord all the time, Mile and hubby help SIL find another apartment. I even gave CL $700 from my personal savings so that she could pay the deposit on the place. Now we're finally getting to the real story. So, we loaned SIL the $700 in the summer of 2022 with the expectation that she pay me back at least $100 a month. The operative word is expectation. But the reality was that SIL didn't pay us back at all. Every month, she had an excuse for hubby as to why she couldn't pay us the increments. Oh, I had to buy a new battery for my car. Oh, I had to go to the doctor and it was so expensive. Oh, I had to buy a new battery for my car. Wait, didn't I say that one about the battery already? Yep, SIL actually used that excuse twice. I had already resigned myself to the cold reality that I'd never get that $700 back. We're not well off by any means, hubby and I, but we're not stingy. If the family needs help, we help, but rarely do we receive any thanks or compensation. I've grown used to it, so when SIL slunked on paying us back, I didn't make a fuss. Yes, I knew she was splurging money on Shine every week and $20 lunches every day that she would flaunt in front of Mill, who was still without a job 2 years later because the economy got so bad. But what could I do? I was more upset that SIL would actually leave work every day to eat her $20 sushi bento box at MIL's place without ever offering Mill a bite, let alone a plate. But this is how the $10 debacle started. Mill was still living with BL2, and Bill2 was getting tired. See, even though the three brothers were equally supporting Mill until she got her life together again, BIL2 had to live with her. That meant his social and romantic life had come to a halt. Not to mention he was responsible for Miel's pets and CL's dog. BL2 had the added pressure of paying for extra utility use and the responsibility of transporting Mill and the pets around. Notice I never said anything about CIL helping out. Well, that's because in CIL's mind, she provided a different kind of support. Every purple moon, SIL would let Mill crash on her couch. No, she didn't let Mill live with her. She'd essentially invite Mill over for a sleepover every once in a while. Then, the next day, SIL would ship Mile back to Bill2's place. Never mind, Bill2 was already taking care of SIL's dog. Never mind, Bill2 already supported Mill financially and kept a roof over Mill's head. But the sad thing is that Mill adored her sleepovers with CL. She looked forward to the mother-daughter time, even though we all knew that time was spent at home on the couch watching Netflix. BL2 wasn't pleased with the favoritism. Anyway, Mill was at CL's apartment for one of the rare sleepovers, and she was strapped for cash. She needed toothpaste and dog food for the critters, so Mill asked SIL for $10. Hubby and I found out because half an hour later, hubby got this phone call. SIL: Hubby, something's gotta give with Mummy. Hubby: What? Is Mummy being stubborn about something? SIL: No, I just can't deal with her asking for money anymore. Hubby: Okay, first of all, that's not what that expression means. Secondly, what do you mean? You don't support Mummy financially. We boys do. SIL: Excuse me? I do a lot for Mummy, okay? Hubby: Okay, whatever you say. What happened? SIL proceeds to tell hubby about the $10 request. He puts his phone on speaker so that I can hear this utter rubbish. SIL: Honestly, hubby, I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore. Mummy's gonna break me. Hubby: Really, SIL? $10 is gonna break you? SIL doesn't take too kindly to this retort, so she proceeds to list the following excuses as to why she doesn't have $10 to give to Mill, followed by hubby's rejoinders. SIL: I have a car loan to pay. Hubby: No, you don't. We helped Mummy buy the car for you in full. SIL: I have car insurance to pay each month. Hubby: Since when does anyone pay car insurance monthly? That's an annual fee. SIL: Well, I have utilities to pay. Hubby: No, you don't. Your rent is all inclusive. SIL. Not Netflix. I had to pay my Netflix bill, you know. You had to pay for Netflix? Are you fucking serious? That's your excuse? At this point, hubby has had enough, but he knows SIL by now. If he rails on her like he wants to, she'll shut down. So, being a good big brother, he offers advice instead. Hubby. Okay, SIL, it seems like you're having trouble budgeting your money. MIL isn't wrong for asking for $10. SIL. But I need gas in my car. Hubby. Listen, I get it. You don't have $10, rolls eyes. But the issue is that you never seem to have money when the family needs you, but you seem to be able to find money for frivolous things like bento box lunches and Shein orders. SIL. What I do with my fucking money is my fucking business. Hubby. Calm down. I'm just saying that you need to manage your money better. So, how much is your weekly salary? Silence. Hubby repeats the question. SIL finally answers very, very quietly. Like 4 something. Hubby. You mean like $450? SIL. Yes. Hubby pulls out the old Excel budget file we've been using for years. He sets up a budget for SIL. Then he asks her how much money she has left for the coming week. SIL. Not enough to give Mummy $10. Hubby, please stop being belligerent. And this was the straw that breaks SIL's back. SIL pops off. She won't stand for this treatment. Hubby has no right to make SIL feel bad for not giving Miel $10. If SIL says she doesn't have $10, she doesn't have $10. Why is everyone always so mean to her? Why is everyone always attacking CL? After all CL does for Mil, no one respects her. SIL lets Mil sleep on her couch. SIL lets Mil use her Netflix. Hubby. Oh, bravo. You let Mummy sleep on your couch and soak up the internet your landlord pays for. Thanks to you, Mummy doesn't have to sleep on the street tonight. SIL. You know what? Maybe she fucking should. I'm not the mother. I have my own money and my own life to live. If I want to buy fucking sushi every day for lunch, I should be able to. Hubby. Yeah, you can afford to eat sushi every day, but you haven't paid OP back a single cent of the $700 she loaned you in the summer for the roof over your head. SIL. You know what? Fuck you, fuck OP, and fuck Mummy. I'm done with this family. Then she hangs up. People, within 2 minutes, I get a notification from my bank. Remember how SIL had so many expenses and couldn't afford to pay us back that $700? Remember how she had so many bills that month that she couldn't give Miel $10? Well, rasclat, SIL sent me the full $700. She had it the entire time. She'd simply decided for months that she wasn't going to rush to pay it back. Hell, she probably thought she'd never pay it back at all. But that's not the worst of it. MIL calls. She wants to know what happened. SIL called her minutes before to tell Mil that she'd transferred $50 into Miles' account, and that would be the last $50 Mil was ever going to get from SIL. SIL then told Mil to have a nice life and to never contact her again. By damn! Of course, hubby is furious. The scheming brat had been cheating all of us. She'd taken the entire family for a ride. He tries to call SIL to reprimand her for being so evil to Mil, but guess what? SIL has blocked hubby everywhere. Mil and hubby talk about the situation. After all this, hubby is still concerned about SIL's well-being. Hubby tells Mil about the budget he'd worked on for SIL to help her. If she's only making $450 a week, CL needs to be more careful with her money. Mil. $450? CL doesn't make $450 a week. She makes $650. Reddit. I literally fell to the floor. This bitch. SIL lied to hubby about her weekly salary just to get out of giving Mil $10 fucking. At this point, Mil realizes SIL doesn't care about anyone but herself. It hurts because SIL is Mil's only daughter, but Mil agrees with hubby that this behavior can't be accepted. Hubby makes a pact with MIL to go no contact with SIL, since SIL believes that she doesn't need her family. So then tell me why BL2 calls us a week later to tell us that Mil is babysitting SIL's new dog. You heard me. New dog. Not the dog Bill 2 is taking care of. SIL got a new dog, and the moment Mil saw SIL's name on her phone screen, she took the call. This was about 4 months ago now, and SIL and Mil seem to be right as rain with each other. Even though SIL said point blank that Mil should sleep on the street, Mil accepted see her back with no request for an apology. As for us, SIL still has hubby blocked on all platforms. I guess we're the bad guys after all. How dare we call CIL out on her shit and make her feel bad for not giving Miel $10, right? Comments. Commenter: SIL is a narcissist who only cares about herself and what others can do for her. She is entitled because from this thread's info, she is the golden child, and MIL will accept anything from her to have a relationship. MIL is not doing SIL any favors by allowing SIL to treat others with such cruelty. Further, by not helping teaching SIL how to learn boundaries, her future relationships are doomed. This family dynamic is a hot mess. Without respect and empathy, there can be no healthy love and/or relationships. As for BIL1 and BIL2, keep those wallets zipped up tightly against the SIL. OP, I feel you and you're living within this unhealthy family dynamic. I have had similar experiences in my own family. It's like a train wreck and you can't look away. Good luck to all of you. You're gonna need it. Update 5 months later. Hey everyone! I haven't been on Reddit as much because the last few months have been insane, but I have updates, and good ones, regarding the SIL saga. It has officially been 9 months since hubby and I last spoke to CL, which was when she blocked him after he told her she was an asshole for not lending their mother $10. It has been amazingly quiet and drama-free. Read about that shit here. Mill has found a great job and started legitimate therapy. Her whole life has turned around and she has her own apartment and car again, and even friends. Mill and Phil finally finalized their divorce, and Phil seems to have gotten SEL in the split. Emil has little to no contact with SIL other than monthly check-ins via text. It's not what Mill wanted, but her therapist says it's for the best, until CL figures her shit out. BL has his space back to himself, and he's thriving in a better job. Hubby has finally learned to distance himself from his family's problems, so we've been enjoying the peace. I may return with some of the drama that we've re-witnessed secondhand, but that drama does not affect us, nor are we personally investing our time or emotions into them. They're just karmically hilarious. Comments. Commenter: I hope the dogs were both returned to CIL. Although BL2 was more of a dog parent to dog #1. Oop, Mill has both dogs, and they're doing well. Sil has a new dog that she adopted from her cousin just to show how kind she is. She seems to treat it well, but she has to, or her cousin checks in on the pup from time to time. Update 12 days later. Listen, karma is sweet. Sweeter than a triple chocolate cake with a side of ice cream. And today's batch of karma is diabetes-inducing. CL has returned and she wants to move in with the very mother she scorned last November. For those of you keeping up, you know that in November of last year, CL and dearest hubby had a falling out. Sil went no contact with us because she didn't want to give her mother $10. You can read that story here. Sil also went no contact with the rest of her siblings and her own mother. Eventually, she reopened communication with Emil and BIL2, but she never unblocked hubby. That's fine. Life is easier without her. Her selfishness and bad money management were more burdensome than her company was worth. On a good day, I'd rather cuddle a man-sized porcupine with halitosis than speak with her. But life has been good to Mill since November 2022. She finally got divorced from my tween-dicked FIL. She found a great therapist, landed a good job that she enjoys, and made some friends. In June, Mill found herself a good apartment for her and the dogs. Mill has been doing so well that she just recently bought herself a car. My girl has even re-entered the dating pool. She has a date on Saturday. In my country, we have a saying that you're probably familiar with: they don't love me, they only know me when they need me. If you ever had any doubts about the legitimacy of that adage, let me introduce to you my fucking CL. This Thursday, BIL2 pulled me aside at MIL's new place to tell me a funny story. BL2 got a call from CIL. Below is a dramatization of that phone call. BL2: so you unblocked me, what you want? CL: talk to mummy for me, eh? She being stink right now. BIL2: talk to her about what? CL: I need to move in with her. Things tough, and I need some time to catch myself, but mummy said no. So apparently, when Sil saw Mill's new apartment, which she did not help Mill move into, Sil realized that she had something to gain. From what she told BIL2, Sil can no longer afford her rent. She's behind on bills and can barely afford to take care of her new dog. Yes, Sil took several vacations over the last 2 years, and yes, she did just come back from one such trip. But those vacations were necessary for her mental and emotional well-being. However, now her bills are overwhelming her. CIL thinks that moving into her mother's new apartment will give her the opportunity to fix her financial situation. But Miel turned Sil down. The space is too small. Sil: Talk to her for me, BIL2. We're family. We're supposed to help each other. BIL2, blood boiling but sympathetic. How about I lend you some money for rent this month and we'll talk to hubby about what you could do? SIL, I don't need to be paying rent right now, I just don't got it. Realization kicks in. BIL2, so how you gonna move in with mummy if you can't pay rent? SIL, why you think I need to move in with her? I can't pay any bills. Yes, y'all, SIL wants to move in with Mael and live rent and bill free, indefinitely. After this yeast infection denied her mother $10 for dog food, and after she took back her TV, and after slandering her entire family's names across town, SIL wants Mill to take her in free of charge. And Mill said, "No, bitch!" That was 2 weeks ago, and Mill isn't budging. Meanwhile, Bill2, hubby, and I have been smiling smugly from the sidelines. You reap what you sow. Comments. Commenter, I remember your original post. Your SIL is what I refer to as a pink dot. I work for an organization that helps people financially with rent, bills, food, etc. When we discover that someone is a user and abuser of the system, we put a pink dot on their card and simply tell them that we're unable to help them and wish them luck. People like that know exactly what they're doing. I have no doubt your SIL will find some sap to believe whatever story she wants to spin and find a way to continue to manage her lifestyle. Commenter, I wouldn't be surprised if she used her pink dot to shack up with some guy. It's about all she has left from what I can tell. Commenter, that's hysterical. I'll never look at my Rolodex pink dot cards the same way again. How do you like this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.